Hi everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel and another paper crafting video tutorial. Today's limited edition exclusive for STAMPtember 2023 is Newton's Nook. This is the Santa Paws stamps and or stamp die combo, and I created a Santa Paws tag card using stamps from the stamp set. Let's go ahead and build our background first. I am using a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panel of smooth white cardstock, and I am stamping one of my favorite background stamps on this. This is the Hero Arts Falala background. I know you guys ask me all the time about text stamps. There's two new ones from the Hero Arts holiday release. It's been out a few weeks now. This Falala is one, and then Jingle Bells is the other, and I think both of them are fantastic for Christmas cards. So those are two I highly recommend for the Christmas season. Now, I did notice that I don't think I pressed my cardstock, or I didn't press my Misty very hard, or didn't ink it up enough. The embossing was a little light in places, so you'll notice as I'm heating, while it's still warm, trying to sprinkle on more embossing powder in a few areas and then reheating it. So I've done that several places on the background, and it's why I sped the video up to save us a little bit of time, because that part's not that interesting. Now for the background, I'm doing a very fun embossed resist with Hero Arts shimmer sprays. This is the red tone-on-tone shimmer spray. I love the Hero Arts shimmer sprays. I'm showing you these because if you are a fan of distress mica stains, you might like these as well. I know lots of you are huge Hero Arts fans, and I wanted to show these in use. I did heat this a little bit. You can see that the embossing or embossed areas just wicked that right away. And then I even went in when it was pretty dry and added a little black shimmer to a few areas to grunge it up a little bit more, and we're going to set that aside to air dry while we work on the rest of our card design. So I absolutely love this. From some Neenah Desert Storm cardstock, I have die cut 3 tags from the Simon Says Stamp nested tags die. This is the second to smallest tag from this set. We are going to take 2 of the images from the Santa Paws set, and then on the 3rd tag, we will stamp a sentiment. I love doing repeating type of elements like this. You might remember I did a Mama Elephant card earlier this month in STAMPtember 2023, where I did some tags for that and did more of a quadrant design. This works especially well if you have a landscape style card and maybe you want to use bigger tags, and so we're doing more of a row of tags. This is another design element that I often repeat because you can make it look different in so many different ways, but the same basic design element is always a crowd pleaser. I love the look of tilted tags in the landscape format. So on my first tag, I am stamping from the Santa Paws stamp set, May Your Holidays Be Filled with Joy. The other sentiment in this set is Believe in Santa Paws, which I think is adorable too. It was really hard for me to pick. I also stamped the snowflake below my greeting, and I embossed with white embossing powder. Now I do want to mention there is a paw print. I opted not to use the paw print because I liked it better with the Santa Paws greeting instead. And I'm using a reindeer, and I didn't really feel like the paw worked so great with the reindeer image. So that was kind of my thought process here. After we have that, I'm going to take the 2 remaining tags, and yes, one of them is purposely tipped upside down. That is something else that I have done for a very long time, since my scrapbooking days, if you guys can believe it. If you've been here since my scrapbooking days, you are an OG, and you may remember me doing some scrapbook page layouts with tags where I tipped them upside down. It's just something that I have loved the look of forever. So I did that here, and I stamped the dog in the stocking upside down. Well, I didn't stamp the dog upside down. I stamped it on an upside down tag. On the last tag, I am going to stamp the reindeer in the stocking. Now, the third stocking is an adorable little kitten, and I just didn't kind of have room for that here. Maybe if I had done a slimline or even a 5x7, there's lots of different ways where you could probably include this. I think a 5x7 might be really sweet, and you could do 4 tags on that, and I love that idea as well. Next, I'm going to color in my images on this Neenah Desert Storm cardstock with Olo markers using a very traditional color palette. Now, I knew when I went with that red shimmer embossed resist for the background that I was going to want to do something very, very traditional on the rest of my card. And I decided to just go with red and green. It's absolutely adorable. It kind of pares down the decision making, if you will, and makes that super easy. Now, because I didn't have the coordinating dies when I was filming this, I just stamped the images right on the tags, which I may have done anyway, because I kind of like not having a white outline or stamping on a separate piece of Desert Storm cardstock and die cutting. So just another idea if you don't want to use coordinating dies or don't want to pick up coordinating dies. And try coloring with alcohol ink markers on craft cardstock. I know you won't be disappointed. It is one of my very favorite looks. I'm always so amazed at how incredible it looks on the craft cardstock. The only downfall, and you saw me doing that here a minute ago, was that anything that is going to need to be white, or that you want to be white, let's say want to be, not need, like the brim of the hat and the pom-pom, are not going to start as white. This is where a white colored pencil, I have a white polychromo colored pencil, comes in so handy. I am using that to color in anything that I want to be white, and that works perfectly. If you're wondering at all what colors of markers I am using, I have listed those down in the description below the video here on YouTube. And I also have listed them over on my blog, so you can definitely check them out here. I'm going to go with neutral tones for both my reindeer and the little puppy. Now, this is another idea that I'm going to throw out there that I think would be fun. This is my personal wrapping paper scheme usually. It's usually like reds and like red and white generally. But if you would color a bunch of these to match your wrapping paper theme, whatever that might be, you could make a whole set of tags with these cute little animals. Now, if you choose to color them with the alcohol ink markers, it does soak through the tag. So I would cut 2 tags and I would back the tag that you color with this, or if you get the stamp die with another tag, pardon me. If you get the coordinating dies and you're die cutting it on a separate piece of paper, then you wouldn't need an extra tag. But that's one of my little hacks for things like that. But these would make adorable gift tags. Absolutely adorable. So I'm using a little bit darker color combination than what I end up using for the dog. And again, I will list all those colors down below to make it easy. And we're just going to keep coloring until we have everything colored in. Now, I will tell you, I got to almost to the point where I was going to put my card together and realized I forgot our little Rudolph's insides of his ears, which I wanted to do in a pink. And so I will come back and add a little bit of color there so that they're not craft colored. I also will be taking a black jelly roll pen and going over the eyes, and taking a white pen and adding detail. We're going to add a plaid. We're going to add some polka dots. We're also going to add some little highlights and things in as well. Look how great the white polychromo pencil pops on that craft. I love it. Now with the black, you want to let the black Jelly Roll pen dry all the way before you try to add your white highlight over it. On the green reindeer stocking, I'm doing a nice diagonal stripe, and it's okay with me if it's not super perfect. I almost prefer it that way. And then I'm going to make some little stitching lines along the heel and toe of the stocking. Now we're going to add some highlights to the bridge of the reindeer's nose, some little highlight to the tip of his nose, and also his hat. And here I decided, the insides of the ear. So there was a very light pink. Here's a little bit darker pink, but I love how that ends up looking. And let's move on to our puppy. Again, highlights. And this time we're going to do a polka dot. I didn't want them to be exactly the same. So I'm just doing a little bit bigger polka dot than I sometimes do. Little stitch line. Highlight to the end of the nose and also some little dots. So cute. Okay, once we have that, the black Jelly Roll in the eyes should be dry, so let's go ahead and add the white detail back in. And we're ready to start putting it all together. I did take the hole reinforcer from the nested tag die set and die cut that from black licorice cardstock and glue it in place. That just gives a beautiful finishing touch to each tag. Then we're going to take our background, and I want to trim it down just a little bit. So I trimmed it to 4 by 5.5, leaving a little bit of white space at the top and the bottom of the panel. I've glued it to a white side fold card base, and now I'm going to take some foam adhesive and place it back behind my tags. I absolutely love this background. I think it turned out so good, and you could use this for any kind of card. As always with my STAMPtember inspiration, my goal is to inspire you, even if you don't want to pick up exactly what I'm using for these cards, but maybe you can pick up a background idea or a design idea to use with things you already own. However, if you are interested in the stamp set, it is limited edition exclusive, and I would recommend going and picking it up right now. I added some ribbon twine to each tag. White, a green that I tied in a bow, and then some red and white. Then I'm going to finish my card with a scattering of these cute little peppermints. I will also put some crystal lacquer on the pom-poms and some glossy accents on the noses. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this STAMPtember 2023 limited edition exclusive from Newton's Nook called Santa Paws. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today for another paper crafting tutorial. I love being able to share with this incredible community of crafters. I want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to my amazing Patreon members. If you're interested in joining Patreon, please click the link in the description underneath the video here on YouTube. Patreon is a private community where you can support more of what I do. There is exclusive content, information, and behind-the-scenes content. Top-tier members will receive a handmade birthday card during your birthday month, access to D-Stash, and monthly exclusive lives, plus so much more. We would love to have you join our growing community. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to click the notification bell to always be notified when there is a new video or I go live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.